Radio Hereford FC, the only station with full match commentaries of the Bulls. Every game, every week.
Hello and welcome again to We're Going Down the Pub with me, Frank Williams, and of course the ever-present, evergreen, effervescent even, yes, Mr. Simon Wright.
Greetings.
And we've just been casting our eyes over the fixtures which were released last Thursday and thought we'd do a little bit of a preamble to what's coming up. We will be doing detailed ground guides for the away fixtures, but we thought we'd have a quick look at the month of August in its entirety, followed by skipping over some highlights that might happen after
Highlights
that.
and lowlights, absolutely.
It is. So there are 5 matches coming up in August.
Indeed.
First game was a bit of a surprise, really.
Well, yeah, my first thought was, where? And, I had to look it up. I thought I knew my geography. But in the end, I was about right. I thought Hertfordshire, and I was correct. It's
Yes, Kings Langley.
Yeah, it's a village side in Hertfordshire, a couple of miles from Watford.
Now, given a penchant for comparing village size to Herefordshire towns, it's a village, but it's about the size of Bromyard.
It is, yes.
So
Population.
why is it a village when Bromyard's a town?
Oh, we've been here before, haven't we?
I think it's because
we'll lose both our audience if we go on.
No, I think it's because Hertfordshire has a larger population and more sort of King Langley size places. Whereas we only have Bromyard, Dedbury, Leominster, maybe called Kingston and Ross on Wye. So
probably towns, but let's not go there, right?
Yes. Well, Kings Langley is only a couple of miles really out of Watford. And remembering Wellington yesterday, they can be stubborn. Some of these villages,
we know what village size can be like.
Absolutely.
We think, village size, no problem, but they can be.
Yeah.
Good on them for it, really, in a way. Interesting thing about Kings Langley FC, they jointly hold a non-league record. But I'm not going to share that with you. You're going to have to wait until we broadcast the ground guide to find out what that record is.
Although you will tell me secretly after we've finished recording.
I might do if you buy me another pint, but there you go.
I think that's almost certainly on the cards.
Meanwhile, another Exile Bull, Nick Jones, I think he's cursing a bit because he bravely volunteered to be our ground guide guru for Kings Langley some months back, and now of course he's got a short deadline.
Yes.
No pressure, Nick, it's just that most of our listeners, maybe even all 3 of our listeners, are eagerly awaiting your report in its entirety.
When you talk about our listenership, which you're wrong about that, of course.
It's gone up by 50%.
It has. It's 4 now. No. We are. People don't realise, because there was a comment after our last one. Can you make these downloadable from iTunes? Somebody put, and I immediately said, well, I'll look into that, but I don't do iTunes and that sort of thing. But I do Churbit. Now, Churbit is an audio channel, and the audio guides are downloadable from Churbit. Next time I post things up, I'll put you a link on our notification on Radio Hereford FC Facebook page. But all the links are already there. The pinned post at the top of our Facebook page has got all the links to every single one we've done, including going back to Wembley last year.
And what a lovely evening you could have listening to all of those, one after the other.
But just remember, there is a little download button halfway along the guide track. Underneath, there's a little tiny download button. Don't click on any of the other download buttons, or you'll download adverts and so on. But there's a download underneath the bar of the recording, and then you can download it to your device and peruse it at your leisure.
Yeah,
exactly.
So there you go.
Some people find it easier than YouTube, but YouTube was just easy when we started a year ago to put them on. Anyway,
where was we then?
Yeah.
So that was a quick look at Kings
Yeah,
Langley.
well, Nick, don't for Nick.
No
don't
pressure,
get on
Nick.
with-
No pressure, mate. Just get on with it.
Yesterday will do nicely. Thank you.
Okay, and then of course we've got two quite interesting home games in the space of 4 days.
Yeah.
We've got Tivy and Tivy Town and Slough. Now both.
Well, we know about TV from.
Well, we do.
yeah.
We had the pasty munchers come to us only in January.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
who could forget Pablo's 25-yard volley?
Yeah.
Right in
yeah.
the top corner. That was
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Well, they're both going to be tough games.
They really are.
Yeah.
Tiverton, they've lost 4 senior players over the summer. They just couldn't hack the travelling.
Now, we always get this, don't we? With far southwest
Yeah.
teams do
Yeah.
have difficulty holding on to their players when they get promoted because of the extra travelling involved.
3,800 miles they'll be travelling this year. And
Right.
that's 1,000 more than we will away from home.
So they will do their usual trick.
Yeah, they'll do the usual trick, and what they'll do, they'll go to Taunton. In fact, they've already done it. They've gone to Taunton and they've taken George and Rogers, their big striker.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it's what a rotten trick. I mean, who would go and raid their near neighbours for talent on a regular basis?
Well,
who would do that?
but the point is, not everybody who plays for those clubs necessarily wants to just stick in the south and west. Some of them may have ambitions to play higher up the pyramid, and therefore, obviously, Taunton being a near neighbour, obviously, if there are players there, the approach may have come from the player. He might have said, you know, I fancy trying it out at the higher level. Like, look. Yeah. We've done it to Evesham, for heaven's sake. We've done it to me. Yeah.
Yes, I was being slightly ironic there. Tiverton actually. No, I know. Well, Tivy had 6 ex-Taunton players in their team last season, so they're.
Yeah.
But anyway, there you go. Slough, of course, they made the Step 3 playoffs last year, so they are, one of the better sides. They had the highest average gates in Southern Premier League last season, averaged 630, and they got their own radio station.
What?
Yes.
We'll be jostling for space.
Yeah. Rebel Radio, I think it's called. So do hope those radio stations are going to play nicely. No yanking out the power cable when they're not looking.
Well, we'll take our big battery packs, and if nothing else, we'll bang them over the head with them. So it's no problem.
I was wondering, I mean, I can only think of FC United who've broadcast from Hereford. There's been no other club radio stations, has there?
No, I don't think so. We're going to find a few this season, though, I think.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, you've only had to put up with radio non-Hereford, but Worcester a few times, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
What? BBC Harriers and Warriors.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's them. Yeah, being a nuisance and
Absolutely.
popping up occasionally. But
Yeah.
and of course we mustn't forget. During those games, there'll be a new talking bull out.
Yes, indeed.
Keith hopes to give birth to a particularly large big bull, and that's despite any personal discomfort he may suffer in the process. But there you go.
Right.
That talking bull will hopefully include all away games until mid-October, provided Nick Jones can do the bids. But hey, no pressure at all on that, Nick. I know you're down for 2 of the 5, but there you go. We can work it out.
Well, I hope there's some new writers that want to
Oh,
send
goodness
things in to
me,
keep-
yes, we do keep asking. Otherwise, I'm afraid you get even more of me rambling on and on.
Well, I'm doing an article this time. I'm not going to tell you anything about it.
Okay.
There you are. So I'll keep a secret as well.
Oh, be like that.
Absolutely. Anyway,
Yeah.
the second
Talking
away
of rambling,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually quite like the venue for our second away game. It's St Neots.
Right.
It's one of the longer ones, but hey, we've got to do them sometimes. One of the 150 milers that we got.
But you have visited the ground.
Yes, that was me. Yes.
Not so long ago.
No, a few weeks back I was there.
So it's going to be one of those ground guides. It's going to be almost up to date, not 6 months earlier. Excellent stuff. I remember the Evesham ground guide you did. You had to revisit it because you originally did it a year before. Then we had them late in the season. You had to go and do it again. So
I'm not going to do St Neots more than once. I'll tell you,
exactly.
But it was very pleasant. I managed a long chat with the club owner,
Right.
who I didn't actually realise was the club owner until several days later. He was very modest about it, but it's a ground that our supporters are going to like. I mean, I'm not going to go into great detail because we don't want to spoil the ground guide later. And I don't want to reveal all, certainly not in the wagon and horses anyway. It's not a good idea to do that. But I will say for our London Bulls, this is such an easy trip.
yeah, it's on the King's Cross line.
Yeah.
And the railway station there is only 2 minutes from the ground. Excellent stuff.
Yeah, you come out the station, across the road, and you can see the ground. It's also the home ground of physio Michael Hunt, who I think is going to be an early contender to be the new Buzz Lightyear this year.
With a name like that?
Yeah. I don't know who's going to be the first to shout out the name in the bar, but somebody's going to do it.
Absolutely.
Have you seen him?
And in the end of August, Bank Holiday Monday.
Yeah, well, our football club describes it as mouth-watering. It's certainly going to be an interesting game because we play the Merthyr boys.
Yeah, and the return one's going to be on Boxing Day.
Yeah, I mean, I think we guessed in advance.
Yeah, it was just a question of who was going to get the home. August, and who was going to get the home.
Exactly. I mean, I'm thinking both sides have got so many Welsh people in the team. I mean, maybe the programme should be in Welsh.
I think not.
Well, I'm sure.
Lovely. I'm welling up.
I think Jamie could rise to the occasion. Couldn't take a look at the whole programme in Welsh. I'm sure that would be well appreciated by everybody. Not.
Well, let's just skip through some of the other highlights.
Yeah, the highlights indeed. Well,
there's one in September that's a highlight, of course.
Oh, yeah. Weymouth, wasn't it? I mean, that's what everybody wanted.
23rd of September, just right.
September
Kids
Saturday.
have gone back to school.
Exactly.
Weather's still nice.
Yeah, we don't normally get that lucky, do
Now,
we?
I know Reg is only doing a day trip for that, to be an early start, but a lot of people, I think, will be planning to go.
Oh, yes.
I've already booked.
You were in there like...
You've booked.
Yeah.
Fine. So, we will announce now that we will be putting together another Friday Night Live programme in Weymouth with a live audience. Yeah. Well, some of them will be invited, some will just turn up.
Just turn up anyway. But yeah, well, you know, I haven't mentioned to this fact for at least a full day here, Frank, but did you know Jeff Astor used to play for Weymouth?
No. Yes, I did, actually, yeah. But anyway, that Friday night, we haven't got a venue for it yet. It won't be at the football club because it's too far out of town. But we have got one or two ideas for pubs in town
Spiffing?
that we will be looking at this week, and we'll announce it to you as soon as we can. But there will definitely be a going down the pub live on the Friday night, probably about 8 p.m. in Weymouth.
That could be fun.
Whether you can join us or not, we'll be there and we will do it.
We'll make you suffer either way, but there you go.
Now let's just skip over some of the midweek fixtures,
I mean that's
because
we always look at those.
Some people have already been on Facebook saying, "Ooh, yes."
I think the Southern League have done what they can, to be honest. We've got to be realistic, not just for our supporters but for our players. We can't do the 150 milers midweek. It doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
And the local games, well, that's Christmas, that's Bank Holiday, that's when those are going to be played, so you've got those in between.
Yeah, Tivy's a bit of a downer though, isn't it?
Well, it is, but I think you've got to look at it. We are the 6th nearest club for Tivy.
Yeah, and it's 120 miles.
Yeah.
It's more like 150 for us, but well.
Oh,
yeah.
bloody hell, yes.
But actually it's not a bad journey, is it?
It's relatively straightforward down the
Tuesday
motorway
night
for us.
it should be okay, yeah.
You know, I mean, Merthyr, Basingstoke and Weymouth have also got the dubious pleasure of going to Tiverton this season.
Yes,
on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Well, of course, the ground we visited last season, that might not appeal to many people, but it was a very pleasant ground. If a bit yellow.
Yes, it was very yellow. But hey, look, we were made very, very welcome. We really were.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll leave the grass as long this year.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
They do love multitasking there. I mean, the club photographer serves in the club shop. The press officer mans the turnstiles. The programme editor also sells the programme. They're great at multitasking there, and they very good pasties. Let's not forget the very good pasties.
Yeah. October, the 3 midweekers. Yeah.
Goodness me, that's going to be I think we've got 2 away midweekers and 1 at home.
Yeah.
October's going to be a busy month, an expensive month for supporters, you know. I mean, just to look at our midweek aways, we've got Stratford, Frome and Banbury.
Now, a lot of people are disappointed by the fact we're not Stratford on a Saturday. That's a nice place to visit.
It's a lovely place to visit, although the ground's actually nowhere near the town centre, miles out.
But it's not a bad journey for any of them, is it?
No. Banbury is a bit of a waste because it's one of those very, very rare grounds where just about anybody could get there by train.
Yeah, but not for an evening match.
No, we're all stuck for an evening game, isn't it? And you know, that's the midweekers, and the one everybody's got to look at. When do we have to do the big one to King's Lynn?
Yeah, 180 miles.
Yeah, and that's Tonbridge distance for those people who
and it's November.
not good.
No.
Not good. Ominous weather-wise, that is.
And if we reach the trophy third round, that'll be postponed.
Oh, God,
So-
can you imagine that?
Could it become then a late season Tuesday night trip to Kings Lynn? Doesn't bear
Any time, really.
Doesn't bear thinking about that.
One ground I'd just like to throw in, because again it's a new ground to everybody. Our last game of the season, very last game of the season, April the 28th, was away to St Ives. Now that's a ground I've been to. It's a lovely little town, overlooks a river. Got some very sensitive development either side of the river, and it looks really, really smart.
Right.
It's a lovely area, 150 miles again.
That could be worth an overnight.
Overnight, I would like to. I think it would be a fun way to finish the regular league season. May not be our last game, of course. We may have playoffs.
Indeed.
I don't know whether would that make us lucky or unlucky if we had playoffs, but it's a possibility either
I
way.
think we'll be happy to be in one way or another. You know, in with a shout at the end of the season. That's all we can ask for. Originally, the target for the club was to try and get 2 promotions in 3 years. Well, we've had 2 promotions in 2,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you know, 3 in 3 is a big ask.
It's very, very rare, as an article in Talking Ball will reveal.
Well, there you
go.
are. That's
Yep.
why you should buy the next Talking Ball.
Exactly.
Right. Well, that'll do for our skip
Oh,
to the fixtures. The next time you will hear from us will be when we do the detailed ground guide
yes.
for Kings Langley.
Bring it
and that
on.
will be coming out hopefully in
When
a
Nick
week
gets
or
his finger
so.
out.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick.
Okay. Right. We'll buy another beer in a minute.
what a good
and,
idea.
yeah, absolutely. And we'll see you all soon. Bye for now.
This is Radio Hereford FC, the home of the Bulls. Match Day Live.